Good afternoon, one and all. Welcome to the workshop on deploying Python Django applications on IBM Cloud, which can be helpful in the IBM Hack Challenge 2020. Without any further ado, I would like to introduce you all to your key speaker of the day, Virender from IBM. He works with IBM Digital Labs and have around 15 years of experience in building and developing enterprise applications. He also likes to evangelize on IBM latest technologies like IBM Blockchain, OpenShift, Kubernetes, IBM Cloud, and Watson services. I'm sure you guys will have a great session. And again, thank Mr. Virender to take this time and share your knowledge with us. Over to you, Virender. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Vivek. Good afternoon, one and all. I think today's session is basically on to understand how to push a simple like Python Django application onto IBM Cloud. So that is the basic intent of the session, and we will not be really going into any of the details on the Python programming or any other stuff, right? So if any questions on that, probably I think that would be like a separate session altogether. So this is like a basic. I'll just run through like how we can push your existing Python application and onto IBM Cloud. Okay, so let's get started. Actually, okay, let me share the 1 minute. I shared this before that. Can everyone see my screen, or I've not yet shared it?
Share your screen.
Yeah, and just hold a minute. Hold on. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I posted this link on that chat, so you guys can get into this, and maybe you have all the details of how to install the CLI commands for IBM Cloud CLI. So the reason for installing this IBM Cloud CLI is like to connect to the IBM Cloud from a command line flow. Okay. So that is it. And I'll be posting, so today's session, I'll walk you through this, one of the IBM Cloud basic Python Django application. So how you can actually push this application onto IBM Cloud. So this has a very good documentation as well. You can follow it, after this session as well, but I will walk you through how you can actually clone this, download onto your system, and then how you can push it onto IBM Cloud. Okay, I'll post this as well on the chat. Okay, so this is the one which we'll be looking at. So before that, I assume and presume that you all guys have. So you can see my command prompt, right? You can see my screen, right? Is this visible? Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so right now I had created, I don't know if, I think you all are Python developers, so you might be knowing about this virtual environment concept in Django, so in Python, so wherein you can have a specific virtual environment for Python, so wherein you can come and execute your projects or host your projects on Django server and things like that, so that you don't corrupt your multiple versions of Python across your system. So that is something I think I shared those steps as well in beforehand as a prerequisite. Maybe if some guys don't know how to create a virtual environment, it's a very simple steps, 5-step process. You can follow that. So once you have that virtual environment, you could see that I have a environment wording just in the command prompt. So this will tell me that right now I'm in a virtual environment. So let me. So what I'll do here right now is let me go ahead and follow the steps on this particular the Git link which I shared. So this is what we're doing. So the first step. Any questions? Just please stop me. Okay. Also, Vivek, like what is the plan? Like, would the people would be executing parallelly while I'm doing it, or you want me to go through
Uh,
the simple deployment and show them, then later on they can follow the same steps?
So Virender Yuktesh here, my recommendation actually, you only perform the demo, but with little slow speed,
Yeah,
so
okay.
that, they can jot down if something is really important. Anyways, this is video recorded, right? So
Yeah,
they will
great, great,
practice
great.
later
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So that's good. So and also this, like whatever steps we are performing today, it's very basic. So our intent, as I said, like I want to make it clear that we are only showing you how to push your Python Django application onto IBM Cloud. Okay, so that is its thing. So here, as you follow the Git link, right? Just don't worry about any other things. Make sure you have a Python and everything installed on your environment. So just go ahead and clone this particular project. Okay. So let me click on this. So what it does is it's actually getting the project onto my system. So now if you could see, I have this get started Python project created. So I can log into this one. And if you could see, it has a couple of files available. This is the main Python file, and there are other files which are there. Just we'll follow the steps on the Git link. So once you're there, now let's go ahead and see like what this app does locally. Okay, we'll try to launch our app locally and see what it does. Okay, for that, it is asking us to install this requirements.txt. Okay, so I'll go through on what is there in the text, but let's go ahead and just copy this command. Okay, and just blindly run this over here. Okay, so this should actually this text is actually containing the Cloudant module and the Flask module. So this is related to the Python, and Cloudant is something like an NoSQL database. It's actually installed. Okay, so these are the two things it installed. Now then, if you go to this GitHub link, so you could see you want to run the app by executing this particular command, right? Let us go ahead and execute this command. So what it says is it is running this particular application, web application, and I can execute this from this particular URL. So you could see it is running on this localhost 8000 port number. So let me go here and type the localhost 8000. So you could see your application is up and running. So locally it looks good. Now I can give my name here and I press enter. So it says hello here. Okay. So this is simple basic Python application. Okay. Web application. Now this is running locally on my system, right? On my environment. Now our main goal is to make sure how we can push this whole project onto a IBM cloud. Okay. So let's go to that. So let me stop this. So even before we want to go ahead and push this app onto the cloud, right? If you go into this Git link again, so there are some steps to be performed. If you look at the third step, he says that you need to prepare the app for the deployment, right? So for that, you need to actually create a manifest file. So I'll let you know like why the manifest file is needed. And then you can go ahead and deploy. For deployment, you can use the Cloud Foundry CLI. So this is what I mentioned. This is the IBM Cloud CLI tools which you need to deploy in order to connect to the IBM Cloud from command line and deploy that. So first what I'll do is I will go ahead and make sure I have connectivity to my cloud. Okay. So for that, I need to log in. So there's a bx login command. So I need to enter this bx login command. So it asks for my email. So chitram@ibm.com. So, okay, I don't want to do this way because I am on IBM network. So I need to log in through SSO. Okay, so what this asks me is I need to generate a password from this URL. So, but normally you need not do SSO or stuff because right now I'm on an IBM network, so I have to do that. Okay, and let me enter this password so it's authenticated me. So my account is on the number 1. Okay, I said no. Then, so once this is done, I need to make sure bx target minus -cf. So right now within your, when you log into your IBM Cloud account, right? So you could see there is a Dallas region, there is a US East, UK region, and other regions. So right now, my region which I'm connecting to is the US South region. So that is the, so this is where the command will help you to connect to that particular region. Okay. So you are now connecting to that particular Cloud Foundry. When I say Cloud Foundry, so it is through this Cloud Foundry CLI tool, which we go and talk to the IBM Cloud and push the apps. Okay. So right now it says that I'm connected to that. So I can quickly check what all the current apps which I'm already running on my account. So I can do a bx cf apps, right? So if I'm doing that, it will go and fetch what all apps I'm running. So you could see that I have around like more than like 8 applications, but all the application status are stopped. Okay. So let us go and let me log into this IBM Cloud account now. Okay. So this is my account. If you go and see the Cloud Foundry apps, so you could see there is a 2205 app, there is a blue green, there is a Candor network and data. So you could, if you go back to this command line, you could see the same apps coming from here. So what has happened now is like from using this Cloud CLI commands, I was able to connect to my particular account, which is the IBM Cloud account. And from command line, I'm able to fetch all the applications or push any applications or update any applications, or you can stop an application, and you can do multiple things. I mean, you can do a bxcf command. I think you'll get a lot of help. You can go and see like what all commands are there. Right now, I'm using this application lifecycle commands. Okay, this is the command which I'm using. CF apps. Now we'll be using a push command as well, and you can actually start an application from here itself, and you can stop. You can do all the other management from the command line itself. You need not go and log in into your IBM Cloud account. Okay, so right now, what is that we did is we cloned our project. Okay, and from the project we made sure that it was running locally perfectly fine on a local system. Fine. Then the next step was to actually we need to go and deploy this particular app onto our IBM Cloud. For that, we need to make sure that we need to download the IBM Cloud CLI commands and make sure that we enter the same username password which you are using to connect to the IBM Cloud account, and make sure that from the CLI you're able to access your cloud applications. Okay, so these are the steps which we did. Now let's go back to the same Git repository, steps. So here, in order to push this particular app, what you need to do is it will actually need a manifest file. So let me, since we had already cloned our application, we are seeing this manifest YAML file as well. Okay, but normally in your case, you would only see your hello Python. This could be the only file, or maybe your application, some dependent modules you could see there, but you not see a manifest file, or you should have not seen a requirements file. Okay, so let me go ahead and open this manifest file. So what is this manifest file is, you need to just make sure you follow this pattern. Manifest file says that the name of the application which I deploy is Get Started Python. You can change this to any other name, like whatever name your application could be. Like it can be any app name. It's actually an app name. So random root. So random root is true is in the sense for right now to run this application on a local server, what we did was it was localhost 8000 port, right? But when you deploy it on a IBM cloud, it will actually generate a friendly name for you, something like google.com or something like some your get started python.com, so that it's easy for you to share. So you want a specific route, or you want to specify a route yourself, you can enter this as false. But the recommended one is always make sure that let IBM cloud select a random route. Okay, for a PCs or any initial application development, you can hold this as true. Then how much memory you want this app to utilize? So it's 128 MB. So this is what it contains. Now let's go back to the same GitHub link. Now what he says is, once this manifest file is ready, he says that now we are ready to go and deploy the app. So we need to execute this particular command here. You could see this command here, right? bxcf API endpoint. Okay. No, this is something like he's connecting to that endpoint, like what we did, like bx target we had, right? So I think I need to, I'll share this command as well, which I'm entering, because here I think this is a little bit old. Here what it is saying, it's having a CF API, but we need to prepend this with a bx command. Okay, bluemix command. So that is what we have extra thing here. Apart from that, everything is same. Now once you have all the login done, what he's saying is we'll go ahead and do a push of it. So let us go ahead and do a, you could see that in the GitHub link, you're seeing directly CF push, right? But this is not going to work for us. So we need to do a bx CF push. Okay. We need to just prepend this particular command, bx CF push. So what I'm doing right now is, since my bx command, I've already logged in, and I'm able to connect to the IBM cloud. Now on this, from this particular directory, when I say this particular directory, you need to make sure your application files are here and you place your manifest file here. So when you do a bxcf push, it will go and check for a manifest YAML file. It will go and check for this particular file, and it will start pushing and pushing this, all the resource PI file, whatever source files are there in this, and it will go and push it onto the IBM cloud. So which runtime it needs to pick up, it will pick up based on the source, whatever extension you have, like it's a .py, right? So it will pick up the Python runtime automatically. Okay. So let us go ahead and run this. So you could see it's invoking the CF push. So all the information, everything you can see in the logs. So you can easily understand what it is doing and everything. So you could see that it's automatically picking up the download for Python dependencies. If you could see here, it's actually building that. It's installing the Python, and then it's installing the pip pop. You could see that, right? Like what all things it's running pip. So just ignore some issues if you could see that, but for now. So I think it'll take a minute or so to actually push this app. So now it's actually pushed everything. Now it is trying to start your app. This is what it says. Yeah, now you could see that your app is started. So here you could see the details. The build packs it used is a Python. You could see that, and the stack is CF Linux. So on Linux, it has created internally some container system, and then it has created a random route. Okay, since we have given a random route, it has created a random route for us, and the request is start and the status is started, right? So this is this you can see the status is running. Now let's quickly go back to our earlier command bxcf apps, which we did, right? So when you click the cf apps now, you should see that your get started Python is being deployed on IBM Cloud, and it is started, and this is the URL for it. Now, if I hit this URL, what should happen? It should display the same thing which the app was showing when you have launched it locally, right? So that's what. See, this is what it shows me. Like you can say, okay. So this is what. So I'll just quickly share this link to you in this particular channel. So can everyone try this? And let me know if you're able to launch this and enter your name. If you're anyone is successful, you can just keep posting there. Yeah, successful.
Also address the questions. Like there are few questions they're
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah. What questions are there? Okay. Do we need to use what is this? White noise. What is white noise? Who has posted this question? What is white noise? I'm listening first time.
You can move on from that. They'll explain later.
So what about the website with website? So this is what the URL, right? Now I shared. So it automatically picks up. Okay. So we need not worry. So the beauty of this IBM Cloud or any cloud providers is, so you have your app running locally. Now within 2 minutes of time, we are now push that app onto a public domain. Now everyone can access that application. So that is the beauty of cloud providers. Okay. How to deploy a Django run deployment mode. So I don't know, there's no deployment mode. Deployment itself, that's a term called to push the app from your local machine to your cloud. Okay. Manage.py in manage.py is wherein you are managing your, yeah, Django, everything is locally, right? So wherein you can actually put your, okay, this question is like, I can quickly show that, like normally it's like a installation of Django. So that's what we said, like we're not covering that information. So CD, where is that now? Somewhere I should find that CD projects, CD hello, CD hello app. Yeah, so if you look at the manage py, yeah, so your manage py is on the Django server, where you can manage your applications hosted on a Django server. Okay, so normally you could see some settings file somewhere. Okay, I don't know where exactly that's gone. Does anyone know like where exactly a settings file would be? It's in this. Yeah. So you could see there is a settings file. So this is like a Django server settings file. So here, so if you want to run your, normally if you want to run your thing on Django server, this is what you do. Like you build your application and you copy your application app name here. So that once you start your manage server, right, using the manage py, so that will launch your application. So, but this is something which is out of scope for today's session. So we are not really interested in that. That calls for a separate session altogether. Okay, let me just quickly go back to that. Okay. So now, were everyone able to access that link? How to? With IBM, it installs Kubernetes? No, it doesn't install Kubernetes. Okay, so we have 3 Python files. So during push, how to tell the app py is the starting of the app. So you need to, so there is within the manifest file, there is an option to run. So that I can share after this session. So I need to figure that out. I'll let you know on that. Okay, that we can do which particular file to start. So there is a run command available. So you can actually put it in the CLI. I mean within the manifest file. That I can share.
We'll all maybe we can continue the session. We'll have a
yeah. So I'm just so once this is done, right? So your app is up and running. So if you go back to this particular IBM Cloud UI, so if you look at the apps which are available now, so you could see my Python app is up and running. Okay, so this is the one. Now, if you go back to the same GitHub link, okay, if you go back to the same GitHub link, so there is an option to add a database. Okay, so how do you quickly connect to the database, right? So you need to go ahead, go into this particular. So he has given all the steps here. So what we need to do here is you need to go into this particular app. Okay, so once you get into this, clicked on this app, on the left hand side you could see there are getting started overview, runtime, and connections and everything. So you can click on connections. So on connections, you have an option to create a connection. So what does it mean is you can actually bind any service to this particular application. So what we are trying to do now is we are trying to bind a NoSQL database. Okay, so I can create a connection. So right now I already have a Cloudant database available. So normally if you don't have a Cloudant database, so it will ask you to go into the catalog. Okay, you can actually click on catalog and you need to enter Cloudant. So this is the service which we are trying to use. It's a NoSQL database. Okay, it's like a JSON database. So this is the one which we are going to use. But since I already have in my account, I already have a IBM Cloud service available. So I'll be reusing the same service. Okay, but when you guys actually launch this and try to hit a connection, let's let it load. Yeah, when you hit a connections and you do a create connection, it'll show you empty because your account might not have any of the services. If you had any other services, it will show up. But let us, you don't. If you already have a Cloudant service available, it will be showing something like this. You can just click on this and say, you can actually create this particular instance, and once you click on this, it will say to restage required or anything. So it will actually bind this particular NoSQL database to your application, and it will restart the application. Since I already have the connection, everything, so I need not perform this particular step. Okay. So this is one way of binding a database to a application. The other way around is you can actually blindly go to this catalog, okay, and just type a Cloudant, okay, and click on this particular tile. So it will show you Cloudant free service, light plan available. So you can check this one and just go ahead and create this particular service. So this will actually create a particular database service for us. Okay. So I'll show you how this service looks. So this is a service which I already have. The reason why I'm not deleting is because I have some other data within this. So that's the reason I'm not able to delete this one. Okay, so this is how your NoSQL database looks like. Okay, now if you go back to the GitHub link, so what it says is once you add the database, like once you create a service, once you initiated this database service, right? Once you initiated this database service, now how can we use that particular database within your application, right? So for that, there's a simple step which they have followed. You need to actually create a file similar to vcap local JSON, okay, and just copy this this format, this paste this information into this particular file. But since we already had connected, cloned this particular thing, we already have the template available. You could see that vi vcap local template, right? So what is this template is having is, so it is actually telling me to provide the username, password, and host to connect to that particular database. Ideally, if you want to connect to any database, right, you need to know the database host name, port name, and the password, username, password, right? The host, port, and the username, password to connect, right? So from where do we get this information, right? So you go back to this particular cloud account, okay? Now, when you clicked on the cloud, there is a other option called service credentials. Here you could see it, right? That's the service credentials. Click on the service credentials. You normally, if you don't have a service credentials, if you're not seeing a service credential like this, you can go ahead and always create a new credential like this. It will actually create a new credential for you, okay? So right now I already have a service credential. So what all the things it is asking for me? The first thing is I need to copy the host name. Okay, so this is my host name. So I go back to this particular file and let me insert the host. So this is the host name. Okay. And the other one is a username password. So just go back to this same credential again, and you could see a username down here. Okay. So you can just copy this username here and just copy this username. Okay. And we need to get the password as well. So the password is something here. So, okay. So this is the password. Now let me go ahead and save this, right? So what I did now is I had captured the host name, port name, the host name, username, password for the service which is hosted on IBM Cloud into this particular file. Now for a quick recap, right, like I'll just log into this hello world. So this one. So this is like a single file you could see. So you could see the code at this point, okay? If vcap services in OS environment. So what does this mean is this vcap services is actually looking for any environment variable called as vcap services. But right now we don't have that. Then it is checking in the environment variable, we have any cloudent underscore URL. We don't have that as well. What we have is we have a vcap local JSON, right? So we, okay, so this is an issue here. So it is actually looking for a vcap local JSON. Now what we did here was we have copied that information vcap local dot template. So let us rename that vcap to vcap hyphen local dot JSON, right? Sorry, just let me do an ls. So right now you could see that this I've just renamed this just in interest of this, so you have the same data available. Okay, now let us go back to the same file. So what it does is, so I'm not really going deep into what how the Python syntax and all of this stuff. So here what it does is it's actually checking for this vcap local JSON. and then it is opening that, it is loading that particular JSON, and it is checking, we have found the VCAP services, and from that VCAP services, it is actually picking up the Cloud NoSQL database credentials. Here you could see. Now it is copying the username, it is copying the password, it is capturing the host and everything, and it is doing a connection to the Cloudant. Here you could see. And then it is actually creating a database. So what is the database? The database name which is given here is MyDB here. This is the DB. Okay. So with this, it is going to create a database. So let us go back to this particular thing. Here you could see right now, we only have a test cases as a database. There is no MyDB database. Now let us go ahead and run this application. Let me go to this GitHub URL. And now it says that once you have everything here in this format, you have updated this. Let us go ahead and run your application locally. Is asking us to run the application locally. Okay. Now let us go ahead and run the application locally. So how is that done? Python hello py. So you could see that it has printed found VCAP services. That is from the local file. Okay. So localhost 8000. So let me go ahead and type localhost :8000. Okay. So now what I will do is I'll give my name. It says, hello Veer, I have added you to the database. Now it has got connected. So let's go back to our this database, and let me go ahead and refresh this. Here you could see now there is a MyDB got created. Are you able to see this? Now there is also a record created. The record shows my name. So this is how your Python is actually connecting to the Cloudant database, and you can actually do all that. I mean, you can actually go through that hello.py file, and you'll be able to connect to the database and do that stuff. So this was actually running on the local system, the database. Now the database is not pushed on to the cloud yet. So for that, let me take you through that. Okay. So what you can do here is, if you go to the Cloud Foundry apps, and if you go to this Get Started Python, so how do you connect this particular Cloudant service details to this particular app hosted on cloud is, you can add this, click on runtime here on the left hand side, and you could see there are environment variables. Now within this environment variables, you could see the value of VCAP services is empty. You can actually go ahead and add those Cloudant host, which you could see here, right? So you need to actually, not this one, let me, okay. So you need to add, so this is the VCAP services. So it is connecting to the on cloud. It will check for this particular username, this password, and host. Okay, so you need to add these three variables within at over here. Okay, username, you can add it here. You can do a password. Okay, and you can do a host, right? And you can do a save. Actually, I've not entered any value here. I want you guys to try this out and just let me know. I think you have my email ID. If any queries, you can post me on that. So you can actually, what you need to do is you need to paste the same credential what we did in that particular file. For username, you need to update that value here. For password, you need to update that value. Host also, you need to update this value, and you can restart your application so that, and share that particular URL to anyone. You can see like how many of them have actually entered their name. So you can keep seeing that your records keep growing here. Okay, who all have actually entered their names, you could see those records getting created here. So this is very simple I think most of the web applications, this is what we need, like a database connectivity and a simple Python application, right? Through a Python application. So these are the basic simple steps we have. You need not worry too much about it. You need to just concentrate on on only your development part. The rest, everything is already available. You can blindly copy this manifest file. You can blindly use this template, and you are ready. You are all set to actually deploy that app onto the cloud and start working. So with this, I think I'm done with my whatever I wanted to share today. So yeah, any other queries or anything, we are good to take.
Virender, maybe there are some questions you can just read out the chat and maybe answer. And before that, let me have a word. Hey, guys, people who are new to Django, I have just shared a link, one of the blog link which I've written. So if you can go through that link, you know what, you will be getting to know what is manage.py, what is settings.py, right? Virtually env, how to install that in Python. So all the basic stuff regarding your Python and Django, you will be get clear. Nothing to do with the IBM cloud. So it's specific to Python and Django, how to build a simple application. Here is what, in the chat, if you see, I have given a link, okay, Django sample app.blogspot.com, right? So go through that link, and then, after getting some good, quick learning on Django, then maybe you can start practicing the one which just now Virender has delivered, right? Okay, so Virender, just maybe you can answer the questions.
Yeah, I'm just, I have this Q&A here. I could see that. Okay, so I don't know who has put this question, but how to deploy a Django project in deployment mode. So I couldn't understand what exactly is deployment mode, but what I assume is like, how you want to push this application onto cloud? This is something which I'm assuming the question to be. So I think for that, we already seen like what all things you can do to deploy it onto the cloud. So you need to follow those basic steps of, you need to remember, you need to have a manifest file. And I think there was a question like how, if there are multiple Python files, how to make sure that which file to run initially, right? So I'll share that information to Vivek on that email thread for that particular question. There's a specific command for that. I need to figure that out. I'll let you know on that. Okay. So Hello Py is the same as Manage Py? No, Hello Py is your application, your web application. Manage Py is something which is at the Django server level. Okay. How to make proc file, Docker file, and all. Why do you need a Docker file? I mean, yeah, you can actually push this application as a Docker image and you can push it onto Kubernetes, but I think that's a completely different topic altogether. We are not trying to build Docker images and container images and push it onto Kubernetes. So, but yeah, you within that GitHub link which I shared, right? So it also has the information to how to create a Docker image out of your existing application and push it onto Kubernetes. So that information is also available. The Kubernetes folder is app. No, Kubernetes, I think you can ignore that Kubernetes folder altogether. Okay. Nothing to do with this Python application. What should we change while deploying? You need not change anything, as is like, I can show you this, right? So this part, this chunk is like, it's like you can directly use this chunk for connecting to the cloud and database service. Any of your web application, you can copy this set of lines and put it on top of your project. Okay, so that will actually help you to connect to the cloud and thing. And I would urge you to actually go through the code here, how he is actually inserting into the database, because yeah, you can actually get in a detail more. See, you could see that he's actually creating a document, right? So you can do the same stuff like that similarly. Okay, my thing would be like, I wanted you guys to, since you all are developers, just go through the file, and you're all Python developers as said, so you can easily understand what they're doing, right? So that's on that. Yes, we deployed on a Django Flask application. I'm using Cloudant in my Python app, so can I directly connect that using connections tab? Which connections? I'm using Cloudant in my Python app. So can I directly connect that using connections tab is, okay. You mean to say if you're already having a Cloudant instance on IBM Cloud, yes, you can do that. If I have MySQL database connected, will it be self-hosting or do I need to configure it the DB2 before deploying? I think within IBM Cloud, within this particular, oh, sorry, this is the other one. Hold on. So within this catalog, I think we have DB2 or MySQL, right? MySQL. Yeah, you have this MySQL database. How we connected the same Cloudant, you can actually start exploring this as well. You have a very detailed documentation within IBM Cloud, but still, if you guys are stuck up anywhere, you can actually ping us. So we'll help you on that. Not an issue. So where I am right now. Okay.
In the meantime, I've launched a feedback poll. So guys, please, everyone fill the feedback poll and keep the question.
Sir, IBM Cloud is important for deployment. Can we deploy on our own server? Okay, if you have your own server also, you can do that. I mean, normally you were able to run the app locally, right? So you need to actually push the same app onto your whichever cloud public server you have. Maybe you need to expose you need to have a public IP so that everybody can actually hit your URL, right? So that is something you need to do manually set up. Yep. So I think that's what we had. Sir, I was using Django by going catalog and Django, but it changes by going to Eclipse IDE, but I am facing deployment as a module not found. So how to install requests on IBM Cloud Platform? Requests, can anyone explain like what exactly they're looking for? How to install requests on IBM Platform? This was Soumya Chaudhary, okay. Request is the library of Python. Okay, so there is a requirements.txt, right? So in that GitHub link, there was a requirements.txt, wherein if you go here, okay. Okay, so there is a requirement, right? There is a requirement text file. So here, whatever your application is dependent on the libraries, like whatever libraries it's dependent, you can actually keep entering those libraries here and their versions in this particular format. Okay, I'm saying my Flask is, my application is dependent on Cloudant database, my application is dependent on Flask as well. So I need to make sure that Flask is also installed along with my particular app. So you need to mention those dependent library information. You can mention over here in requirements.txt. Okay. Okay. So any other questions? I think we are good. So from my side, I think from our side, like I'll be sharing you the manifest file to actually pick up the right Python file. So that I'll share. And as a homework, as an exercise, I want you guys to actually make sure you configure the environment variables on a deployed app and see how the connection is getting created between Cloudant and your app. Okay. So these are the two things I leave you guys with. Yeah, Vivek, I'm done. Or Yutesh, you guys have anything?
Yeah. Thanks, Virender. So yeah, as Virender was pointing out, so first to complete the the demo which he was pointing out, and then you can see I also gave one blog, right? So you can also go through that. First complete that and come to this video, and further you can take up on, right? So Vishnu, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Yukteswar sir. Thank you, Virender, for your time. I hope people have got new insights on your this technology. So, guys, I'll be uploading the video, the recording onto YouTube later on. Okay, you can check the video there, and also we'll be reaching out to you with whatever the details that they are sharing with us. So don't worry on that part. So you'll be getting mails if there's any specific links or anything that you guys want to share. Okay. So just want to quickly remind you to please give the feedback poll, and also work on your projects and make you utilize the extension of the date to submit good projects, and hope you all will be in the top 30 teams. Thank you.
Yeah.